Hi everyone, this is Brian Hayes and welcome to episode 13 of the Win with Music podcast. Today we're looking at an age-old question: should I learn to play the piano? The piano is often regarded as the most complete musical instrument. It has the range of a symphony orchestra, and all of music theory's intricacies are looking up at you from the piano keyboard. Let's have a listen to one of the world's top session trombone players, the great Andy Martin from Hollywood, one of the most successful studio trombone players in the world. Let's have a listen to Andy talk about how he developed his concept of harmony, chords and improvisation without learning to play the piano.
I wish I learned the piano. I really wish. I started to take piano lessons when I was 8 years old, and then our family moved to Southern California from Northern California, and then we stopped the piano lessons and never started them back up just because we were so busy with the move and new situations and new schools and all that stuff. I wish I played piano, but when I learned harmony, I just learned by listening, and luckily I got that job at Disneyland, because that was a big stroke of luck for me, because I knew bebop, I knew chords, I knew how to get through chord progressions and stuff, and I was 18, 19 years old, and I was already on my way. But when I got to the job at Disneyland, I didn't know any of the tunes. I knew like "Oh When the Saints," and I knew Mason Street Blues, and I knew maybe two others, So then all of a sudden I'm thrown into the fire on getting paid to
Muskrat Ramble or something that you might have heard it, but you've never actually delved into it. Yeah.
Exactly. So now I'm on the job. And so what I did was I just would listen to the tuba note real fast. I'd listen to the banjo chord and go, okay, I got four choices here. I got a major chord, I got a minor chord, I got a diminished chord, and maybe a seven chord.
Yeah.
Major sevens only come in maybe one or two tunes,
Yeah.
So I can just choose one of those four chords really fast. And so then I also was learning like, oh, that's the same bridge as this bebop tune on this Dixieland tune. So whoever wrote the bebop tune stole it from the Dixieland tune. Okay, so this A section's just like this bebop tune, except for this one chord's different. So I just started learning like that.
Andy goes on later in that podcast interview to say he really wished he did continue to learn the piano, and in fact he's bought a grand piano for a new house that his wife and he were building. Nicholas Bernier, at just 18 years of age when I recorded a podcast interview with him, was the youngest ever guest on the Music Mind podcast. Nicholas grew up learning classical piano, but found jazz, including jazz piano, when he took up the trumpet. So tell me about you. You've been brought up in this on the piano. Hello, we've got all this technique. We've got to play what the masters told us to play. Tell us how you've snuck in the backside door learning a bit of jazz on piano. Tell me that process.
Yeah, so it all came from me learning the trumpet. So picking up the trumpet, I played, of course, the classical pieces in secondary school. There were these exams I would have to learn, pieces that I couldn't really decide. There were also concert band pieces. And concert band pieces can often resemble some jazz pieces. There's also big band adaptations or things like that. But trumpet introduced me to jazz and improvisation and everything. And I just realized that I can do that on the piano also. Why not? So I just piano. It's funny. I'm self-taught about jazz. I've always had teachers for classical, but never for jazz. Well, no, that's not true. I had some, but I didn't take it seriously.
Okay.
The moment I took it for real, I was older than I've been playing trumpet for quite a while, and then I took jazz piano more seriously, and that's what I'm doing right now. Funnily enough, I have a teacher now who's giving me little clinics once a week, and
Okay.
I mean, I've learned a lot with him, and I don't want to, I said I'm self-taught, but there's always a lot of people behind every note that I play, and
Yes.
I never want to say otherwise.
No. And would you say that your classical piano technique, that extraordinary technique you've developed, has helped or hindered you on your jazz piano journey? Has it helped or
Completely helped.
completely
Completely
helped?
helped.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I see how it can hinder things, but for the most part, I mean, it allows me to do anything I want,
Yeah.
and that's very freeing. On piano, I can do more things than on the trumpet. Trumpet is very limiting.
Yeah.
You have endurance to manage, you have range to manage, you
Yeah.
have sound to manage. Piano, it's always going to work.
Yes.
Unless you're really playing with too much tension, your arms are always going to be up and running. You can do anything you want. And thanks to the classical background, I can also play any line I want. It's very freeing. And of course, I'm not going to say that I can do absolutely anything, but I've never really been limited on that instrument, partly due to my classical background. Yeah.
What this podcast has shown is you don't have to play the piano to be a good creative musician. If it's an instrument you are attracted to, then I highly recommend you do study the piano because it's a phenomenal basis for music theory, understanding chords, being able to read music in treble and bass clef, and just developing your ear overall. But it's not mandatory. For me, I started out on the guitar, and the guitar is my chordal instrument. I later on went on to play some 20 or so instruments. The piano is an instrument I played briefly in the 80s, and if you listen to the theme song for the Music Mind podcast, that's me playing the electric piano and driving the keyboard bass from the piano. I want to finish now with an original song of mine called Running on Empty. This features me on the slide dobro and the pedal steel guitar. Until next time, bring music into your life and you'll win with music every day.
Hear that whisper in the wind, it's calling out my name. A shadow feels like freedom, but it's turning into pain. I've chased the sun through golden fields, painted skies of blue. With every step I take, I thought I found a piece of truth. But the path keeps winding on, and my heart's begun to wear. With every mile I'm running, I feel the weight of it. Oh, the world keeps turning, and I'm losing track of time. The songs I used to sing now slip from my mind. I'm running on empty, searching for a sign. The shadows of my past still haunting through my mind. Will I find a way to fill this space inside my heart? I'm running on empty, wish I could restart. Every dream I've held on to, they slip like grains of sand. The echo of my laughter fading into quiet lands. I close my eyes and wonder if the light is out of reach, but the flicker in the darkness whispers softly, don't you cease. Every bruise I carry makes me stronger than before, and every tear I've shed becomes a lesson at my core. I'm running on empty, searching for a sign. The shadows of my past still haunting through my mind. Will I find a way to fill this space inside my heart? I'm running on empty, wish I could restart. But every journey leads to places I can't always see. searching for a sign, with shadows of my past still haunting through my mind. Will I find a way to fill this space inside my heart? I'm running on empty, wish I could restart. So I lace up my shoes, embrace this path ahead. With hope as my compass, I won't feel what's left unsaid. I'm running on empty, but the journey carries on with every step. A new light with every breath.